Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And Sunvoy will play a pretty big part in that, it sounds like. Um, it also sounds like part of what the goal here is with Sunvoy to create almost a social movement where through the sharing of information and through the ability to move it into social media, which most people are just taking photos of their roofs after the install is done, and that's the extent of solar social. That there's an attempt here to really change the nature of kind of that viral factor of solar here. Is there more in the pipeline for making solar go viral?
Oh yeah. No, I mean the landing page that I just showed you is just the tip of the iceberg, right? We're going to build in actual production data, so you can share with your network exactly how much performance that system is produced, how many environmental benefits, what the ROI is. Maybe what they're saving from having a battery, if you have a time of use rate, or what they're saving from having an electric vehicle, if you have an EV charger. We want homeowners who have all this stuff to be able to share with their network what they're gaining from it
Mm-hmm.
tangibly. And that is kind of the next step is imagine being able to share all of that energy data. And this is actually inspired by one of our customers, who I know won't mind me sharing her name because she did this publicly. Lena Salins. I'll never forget this. This wonderful woman works at the Kennedy Center, and she's got a big house in DC, and she installed solar. She installed one of the biggest solar systems I've ever seen in DC. It's even bigger than mine. And it was a really high building. I remember in I believe it was in upper northeast DC. And after this system was installed, she wrote something on Facebook that was something to the effect of like, I just went solar with Ipsen Solar, and I installed 50 solar panels, and I'm taking 50 cars off the road and plant the equivalent of 100 trees. And it had the graphics and the emojis, and it was so perfect. I'll never forget it. I still bookmarked this thing. So I was like, how can we get every single person who's gone solar to send that to their social network,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, we can do that now. Sunvoy can do that, right? Because all those data points are in Sunvoy. So imagine if you could have every single one of your homeowners send that to every single person they know in their social network. That's just mind blowing, right? Because now
Yeah.
you've made solar viral just by that one thing, and that was generated by one of our customers who really cares about the environment and wanted to help legitimize and normalize solar. So now we can take that little snippet and we can help solar go viral for all solar companies in the Sunvoy network.
Thinking in the long term, the idea that we've been talking about here with the homeowner has been about the homeowner who wanted the installation, got the installation, and has been tracking the results of their installation. But over, say, multiple generations of homeowners, was Sunvoy going to be able to aggregate sort of the lifetime value and the lifetime stats of the solar installation at this house so that it's almost like the shade of a tree that I didn't plant, right? The next people who will buy the house will benefit from my foresight, and as many trees as I may have saved, or as much CO2 that I may have prevented from entering the atmosphere after the house has changed hands two or three times. I mean, it'd be really amazing to see just how big that number gets.
Oh yeah, and we do this every day. By the way, we have requests to transfer a Sunvoy profile to a new homeowner. It's very common, and it's very easy to do. So you can click a button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's tied in with the CRM, right? So you've got to be able to kind of transfer the warranties and change the name in the CRM and have that port over to Sunvoy. But it's not hard to do at all, and it's very common. So then
Okay.
that new homeowner, they get a login to Sunvoy, and now they are getting full transparency into all the energy data that they've inherited.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Game changing. Absolutely game changing.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier the idea of putting a tablet next to your Nest thermostat. Imagine you just bought a house and you walk in the door, and maybe you didn't notice this on the walkthrough. There's a tablet right next to your Nest thermostat, and it's got the logo of the solar installer, and it's got it's just been running since they sold the house.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, that's going to help sell that house. Let's be honest. That's pretty cool, right? You walk into a house.
I mean, I was buying a house recently. I was looking for houses, and yeah, looking at their solar and their inverter and what they have installed and how effective it is. Yeah, that was part of the review process for sure.
Well, and here's the other side of the spectrum. So I know someone recently who bought a house, and that house came with solar. Now it was on a lease, so it was more complicated, and they had to read a 100-page lease agreement. So there's some nuance there. But the point is, they had no damn idea what was going on with this thing, right? They just knew there was solar panels, and it was a ground mount, so they could see it pretty clearly, but they didn't know what it was producing or doing or saving or anything, right? To them, it was just like a sculpture in the yard, and they had to go through layers of detective work to figure out what the hell it was doing, right? So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is you sell your house. Now you've got Sunvoy in the house to show what all the energy systems are doing in one place, help sell the house. And then as soon as you walk in, you got full transparency into what they're all doing.
Yeah.